Hello everyone. From the previous video, I explained the pivot table where I just kind of use another method of where we just selected between A and 1. That created this pivot table where we had this nice summary. But what I said previously was if we were to add a new column, let's say the column pass or fail, right? So this was kind of, we had an if statement to check if the student has passed the class or not. So the condition was if B, the score is greater than or equal to 3, then it's a pass, otherwise it's a fail. But as you can see, we added this column, but see what happens. If you were to refresh our pivot table, let's click refresh here, nothing will happen. The column pass or fail has not been added. That is because the pivot table we created previously was not very dynamic. So we want to create a pivot table so that when we add new data, new columns, new rows, it will automatically be updated in our pivot table. So to do that, I would go ahead and copy this data here. I will create here. So now we have this new data. So I'm just going to call this student data 2, something like that, right? So now in order to create a more dynamic pivot table, what we will do is we select any kind of column or row in our table here, press Ctrl T if you are using Windows, and then click OK. So as you can see, now it creates a new table. We can even give it a name. So let's go ahead and name it maybe student table 1, or let me just call it student table, right? Now I can go ahead and create a pivot table from this. So I'll go ahead, select insert, pivot. Now you're asking me, as you can see, like the name of the table is carried over to student table, and then click OK. So we can do the same summary as previously. So you can do student number here, and then their scores and the subject. So we change this field settings to the average. So let me name this pivot 2. It's a good practice to name your tabs so that you know exactly what you are looking for. And then we can change the formatting here by right-clicking. So I don't want to have the 1.333. So right-click and then click number format. Then go to number. We remove the decimal places and then click OK. So as you can see now, we don't have any decimal places in our summary. So now the whole point here is I want to add a new column, pass or fail. And I want that column to be carried over into my new table when I refresh. So I will come back here. So let me here create a new column. Let's call it pass/fail. Again, same condition as previously. So put equal if score is greater than or equal to 3, then the student has passed. Else is a fail. And just as FYI, if you are getting an error in your if statements, check the quotation mark. If you do a single quotation, you're gonna get this error. Look, so you get this error. So make sure you have a double quotation at the end of your conditions. So as you can see, it automatically carries over all the way to the end of the table, right? So pass or fail. So it's very dynamic. Now let's see what happens when we refresh our pivot 2 table, right? So I'll right click here. Right click, click refresh. As you can see now, the new column has been added, pass or fail, in our pivot table, and we can use it however way we like. So let's say we can move it to the filter to just check the students or the subject that pass. So you can select pass. So that way you only have the subject where the students have 3 or more as their score, right? So basically that's it. And I want to kind of explain how can you create like a more dynamic pivot table in your Excel. So let me just take this opportunity to also maybe explain a little bit more about pivot table. How can we create better summaries? So I will go ahead and remove, maybe I'm not interested on the student numbers, right? I just want to see what subject the students have passed, have 3 or more, right? So as you can see, like bio, calculus. So these are the subject where the students have a score 3 or more, right? And then, of course, these are in averages. Now, let's say I want to count. I want to see how many students receive, let's say, a score of 5, right, in a particular subject. So I will go here, value settings, click on count, not sum, so count. So this will count on how many students have passed or failed. So there have been 31 students who have passed the bio, and 17 students who have passed calculus AB and BC and so forth. Now, let's see, I just want to know the students who have not just passed, but I want to know what score they actually received. So I will go ahead and select all. So this will include all the students, right? 641 records, right? This includes those who have passed and those who have failed. Now let's see, I can move the score here to my filter. This will allow me to find just the students who have received, or how many students have received the score of 5. So go ahead and select 5. So as you can see here, we have bio, only 1 student who have received a score of 5, and 5 students have received a score of 5, calculus AB, and only 2 students have received a score of 5 in computer science, and so forth. And so as you can see here, it kind of gives us like a very nice summary to kind of give an idea, okay, how many students have passed in a particular class, and we can do the same thing if you want to know how many students have received a score of 4 in a particular subject. So as you can see here, so 8 students have received a score of 4 in biology. And again, you can play with these scores and the filters as much as you want. Again, it's the same file as I previously uploaded in the previous video. You can use it to manipulate. Again, just to recap, the whole point of this video was to show you how you can create a more dynamic pivot table. What we did was we pressed Control T, right? So Control plus T. This will allow you to create the table I just did. And then when you add new records, new columns, so even where to add, like, let's say we have to add like new students, right? I can add maybe student that taking, I don't know, maybe bio 2, right? Whatever that is, or AP bio, or something like that, right? So we call it AP bio. This was not in our table, right? Even in the pivot table is not showing up right now, but let's say we add this record. So let's say that the student received a 5, and I'm just gonna change the student ID here to something like, because we wanna make it a unique ID in here, so 5. So as you can see, automatically also update, right, as a pass. As you remember from like a few minutes ago when I showed the students who have a 5, right, score of 5, it was only 1 student, right, from bio. But look, since I just added a new record, let's see what happened when I refresh it. We should see more. So here, AP bio. So AP bio has received a score of 5 because that record was just added here. So yeah, it's pivot tables are really nice, are really cool. Like I said, you can add as many records as you want in your table, and it will automatically refresh in your pivot table. I hope this makes sense. And if you have any questions, please leave your comments below. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.